Climate change has so far been discussed mostly in environmental circles, and the climate change negotiations are still mostly between ministers of the environment. I think what this report and what others have made clear is that climate change is much more than an environmental issue, and that if we are to address it, we're looking at a major transformation of economies and of societies that will affect the way everybody works and consumes. And it's something on the scale of the industrial revolution, but it needs to happen faster than the first industrial revolution happened. It's a workplace issue, and it's also a development issue. That if developing countries are going to be denied their right to development as a consequence of measures that need to be taken to reduce emissions, then it's a non-starter. And I think we should have no illusions about that. Now, one of the important messages from the report is that the world does actually not have to choose between protecting the environment, arresting dangerous climate change, and development. If you do it right, if you orient investments in the right direction, you can address both simultaneously. But as the report also shows, that is by no means a foregone conclusion. And the business as usual scenarios will realize only a fraction of the benefit and that are possible. And given the timescales on which we need changes, they will fall far short of addressing either the social problem or the environmental crisis. The second one that I think is important to retain from this report, that equity will be crucial for the political sustainability of any new climate deal. Industry is calling for stable investment frameworks. A new power plant has to live for 40 and 50 years and generate a return. So you need stability in the way that the investment incentives are set and that prices will develop over time. But there's no way that this stability can be generated if there isn't an equitable deal. Take the example of trade, which was sold as a win-win for everybody until it dawned that that was not so. And the support for liberalizing trade is eroding because of that, because people were sold on an illusion about everybody winning in this. The rescue package for Wall Street failed in at least in its first attempt, arguably because it was not seen as a fair deal. Similarly, there will be no climate deal if there isn't equity between countries, industrialized ones with their historical load of emissions, and the developing ones who in the future will have to take part in this effort. We see green jobs as a concept that helps to square that circle. It can bring those, at first sight, conflicting objectives together. From our perspective, from the ILO and from the United Nations Environment Programme, we see this as our contribution to the climate debate and as a positive contribution to this debate, something that should help to reach an agreement. It is, in some ways, a totally new coalition that you have environmental agencies working with labor agencies together in addressing a common problem. That the fact that the International Trade Union Confederation and the International Organization of Employers have joined that initiative and are part of the Green Jobs Initiative, I think is hopeful. And we need broader and broader coalitions across social and economic groups to make the changes happen in the time that we have.